the herb garden in this container here, which is called an earth box, but you can actually use any type of container for this. So any sort of pot. You want to make sure that whatever container you use has some drainage holes on the bottom so that water can drain out of the pot. So you'll want to put a tray under that container to catch the water. So I'm going to fill the earth box here with a potting mix. This is just a bagged potting mix that you could buy at Home Depot or another hardware store. Might take forever to fill. So this potting mix contains a little bit of nutrients for the plants. It also usually contains peat, which helps keep the soil nice and light. I'm just going to pat it down lightly. And I'm going to be planting some basil. I have 2 different color basils here into my earth box. I'm also going to be planting some lettuce. This is a green leaf lettuce. And some dill. And I'll be direct seeding a little bit of cilantro. So when you plant your herb garden, you can use either transplants that have already been started, or you can plant from direct seed. So to plant this basil, I'm going to squeeze the bottom of the sill pack really lightly, and that will make it easy to pull the basil plant out without disturbing the roots. So I'll get a couple of those out. I'm just going to dig a small hole and cover the basil plant up. I want to make sure I'm getting all of this root ball buried fully in the soil. And with herbs, you can actually plant fairly close together. So I'm just putting my plants just a couple inches apart. I'll do a couple more basils. This is a green basil. It smells really, really good over here right now, kind of like pizza. The purple basil has a really similar flavor too. It's just a different color. All right, so I think next to the basil, I'll do a little bit of dill. These are dill transplants. I'm gonna do the same thing where I squeeze them really lightly. You can see all the roots there. They've got a really nice root system. Some of these can be a little tricky to get out, so I'm just trying to do it gently so I don't break the roots. And then I think I'll also direct seed some cilantro. So for this, I'm just going to use my finger and make a small furrow in the soil. And then cilantro seeds are quite large. They're actually the same thing as coriander. And I'm just going to put a row of seeds in that furrow. I can again space my seeds pretty closely together, so they're only about a ½ inch to an inch apart. Doesn't need to be exact. And once I have both furrows filled with seeds, I'll cover them up. Put the rest of my seeds back. I might want to make myself a label so I remember that I seeded cilantro there, so that when it comes up I know what it is. And finally, I'll put a couple lettuce plants in the earth box over here. These can make nice salad greens. I can actually cut them as baby salad greens. And after that, we are done. So I want to make sure to care for my new herb garden that I give it as much sunlight as possible. So if I were going to put this inside, I'd put it on a really sunny south-facing window. If I was going to put it outside, it could actually go on a balcony or a porch. And all of these plants that I planted, except for the basil, can actually go outside this time of year. So they're very cold hardy. The basil is not, so I'd want to wait a little bit longer on that. And I want to make sure to water the plants pretty regularly. So you want to keep the soil moist so that when you stick your finger in the soil, there's a little bit of moisture that you can feel. So usually you might want to water every week or so. And that's it. Now I'm ready to enjoy my herb garden.